Hi guys, so today we decided we're going to make a nice easy chicken curry for you to have a go at home. Okay, so as I said, it's going to be a chicken curry, so I've got the chicken here, alright. Now I tend to sort of pre-cook my chicken, okay, rather than frying it with everything else in the pan, just to make sure it's cooked right through. You can make this into a vegetarian curry, okay, using the sauce mix, but just add vegetables instead of having your chicken in it, okay. So we've got you need 6 spring onions, 3 garlic cloves. So obviously this is a bulb, so you just want 3 of the individual segments, okay. Some vegetable oil for frying them. You're going to use half a tin of chopped tomatoes, okay. Then you are going to need 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Now I got a mild one, all right. Then 1 teaspoon of ground ginger, and then some natural yogurt, okay. But because I want to give mine a little bit more fullness, okay, I'm going to put in some frozen peas and some brown onions. Okay, so I know that when we cook at Sis Trust, sometimes if we're going to do a curry, there's a lot of concern over how strong it's going to be, okay, how spicy. Now, the only thing that you would change the the sort of heat of the spice would be get a different curry powder. So here you can see I've picked up a mild curry powder. Okay, there's also a medium one and then there's a hot one. So it really just depends on what curry powder that you go for, and that will be what affects the strength of the taste, okay? Okay, so I've got a tablespoon here, all right, so I'm going to just add 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil to a pan, like so. Okay, so I'm going to get my spring onions. Now, I do cheat a bit. I don't tend to faff around with a knife trying to chop up something small like this. I just get a pair of scissors, okay? And so I take off this end bit here, all right? Just want to take that off, like so, okay? And then chop your spring onion up like that. It's up to you whether you want to use a knife or if you want to use scissors. It's completely up to the individual, okay? Chop it up like that into your pan, and I'm going to do that for all 6 of the spring onions, okay? Okay, so like I said, with the garlic, obviously that's a bulb, okay? We just want the cloves, all right? So we want 3 of those, okay? And we're going to just top and tail them, so take off either end like so, okay, and then the rest of it you should be able to peel off like that, okay. So if you do that with all of your clothes, all right, so just take that a little bit off the end, okay. And then what we're going to do is, I've got a garlic crusher here, okay, which you might have at home. If you have, great, pop it in and then you can just squeeze it out. If not, with your clove, you can just chop it up really finely into little bits, okay? So make it really nice and small, all right? And so you're going to do that to all 3 of them, okay? And that can go straight into your pan, like that. Okay? So all 3 straight in. So like I said, I like to bulk my curries out with vegetables, so I'm going to pop in an extra onion. I quite like onion in this family. You can use any kind of vegetables that you want. So peas, carrots, you can pop a whole mixture of different things in, sweet corn, anything you fancy to just bulk it out a little bit. So I just took the skin off my onion and I'm just going to slice it up like so. Okay. But you obviously don't have to put extra onion in if you don't want, because you've got your spring onion in there already for taste. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop the hob on, sort of relatively sort of high heat, okay, and then pop your pan on the hob, and we're just going to start to fry these bits off, okay. So we want to keep going until our onion is like sort of quite translucent, so quite sort of see-through. All right. Okay, so whilst you've got your garlic and onions and that on the hob, it's time to get your curry powder ready and your ginger powder. So, like I said, it's 2 tablespoons of curry powder. So, rather than do it over the hob, because obviously you could end up with way too much in, alright, I'd advise doing it over something else, okay, like so. So, we need 2 tablespoons of curry powder. Okay, so you've got your curry powder measured out. So now it's for the ginger powder, okay. So we want 1 of these, okay. So like I said, it's going to come out and go everywhere, okay. So it's best to do it over something like a bowl so it's not straight into the pan. Okay. So there's about a teaspoon there. So as you see, curry powder is done in a tablespoon, 2 of them, but a teaspoon, okay, of ginger powder. Okay, so what we want to do is we now want to add in half a tin of tomatoes. Now I realise that some of you find it a little bit tricky to open up tins, okay, so just try and get someone to give you a hand if you find it difficult. It's really good practice for those fine motor skills, alright? So pop in your tomatoes, like so, and now you can be adding in your spices, okay? And then once you've added them in, give them a good mix. So once you've popped in your tomatoes and your spices, you try to give them a good stir around and leave them to cook for about 3 to 4 minutes, okay? Okay, so like I said earlier, I like to pre-cook my chicken, okay? It's completely up to the individual. If you want to cook it as you go, you need to obviously dice it up quite small, okay? And fry it up with all your vegetables, all the onions, spring onions and the garlic, okay? Whatever you do though, however you decide to do it, just make sure that your chicken is nice and white in the centre, okay? And that the juices that come out of it are clear, alright? That's how we know it's then cooked. Okay, so your spices, obviously you've now cooked for 3 to 4 minutes, okay, in with everything else and your tomatoes. At this stage I'm going to add in some frozen peas. It is completely up to you guys what vegetables you choose to put in. My guys like peas, so that's what I'm going to do, is pop them in. Okay, so put the peas in, everywhere else. Then we're going to pop in your chicken, if you haven't already started to cook your chicken, that is. Okay, what I want to do is give that a real good mix up, like so. Make sure your chicken's nice and coated. That way it'll be absorbing some of the taste. And then what we want to do, as you can see, it looks quite dry at the moment, so we're going to add some water. So you need to add about 250 ml of water, okay, and just keep stirring, okay, until it's all in together. Okay, so now you've mixed in all your water as well, okay, we want to turn the heat up so it's on high, okay, and then we're going to bring it to the boil, so you'll notice that you'll start to have the big bubbles come through. So once your curry starts to boil, okay, you'll notice all these bubbles start coming up, okay, quite fast. That means it's sort of boiling, okay. What you want to do is just adjust your heat down so it's sort of like on a medium heat, okay. And then if you then leave it to sort of simmer away for about 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so once you've taken your curry off the heat, once it's had its 10 to 15 minutes, okay, for simmering, you then want to add in 100 ml of natural yogurt, okay. Right, you'll stir that in. And also, I forgot to mention earlier, it's good to have some pepper and salt to add some seasoning. Okay, so we can stir that in at the same time. So add as much as you like. Okay. If you find that the curry is a bit too strong as it is, you can always add more yogurt in. Okay. So that's what takes the heat out. So give it a good stir, like so. Okay, so now it's ready to be dished up. So traditionally I sort of dish it up with rice, okay, some boiled rice. You can have any kind of rice you wish. And then as a bit of a side, then add in some naan bread. And there you have your homemade curry.